What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here. This is the severe weather outlook for today. We have an enhanced risk of severe warning for parts of Colorado, Nebraska, and Kansas right here. A slight risk that extends from northeastern Wyoming all the way down to Texas, as well as in parts of western Missouri, including Kansas City, Lincoln, Omaha, Rapid City, Garden City, Oklahoma City, Wichita, Liberal, Pueblo, parts of Denver, and we have a marginal risk from the Rocky Mountains all the way to Pennsylvania, so we have to keep an eye out for this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the risks. The tornado risk is actually the lowest risk out of all of them. It's only 5% in this area, 2% in the other areas, but the wind and hail are the largest risks right here. As you can see, there's a 30% risk here with the hatched area. Part of the 15% is also in this hatched area, which means that there is a 15 or 30%, depending on where you live, risk of winds of 75 miles per hour or greater within 25 miles of a point. And the hail threat isn't much better, right? 30%, 15%, still same hatched area right there. That means that we have a 15 or 30%, depending on where you are, of having a 2-inch hail or more happening within 25 miles of a point. So that's the situation we have right here. We're not going to read the go ahead and read the whole summary and synopsis, but we are going to read a little bit of it. We're going to read the worst parts of it, actually. The eastern Wyoming, northeastern Colorado, and Nebraska, and northern Kansas right here. We're going to read this, and then we're going to go ahead and go to the DuPage models. A low-amplitude shortwave trough continues to move through the northern Rockies, accompanied by 50 to 60 knot jets at 500 millibars. Large-scale ascent coupled with low-level upscale flow is expected to result in initiation over higher terrain before moving eastward into the high plains and eventually more of Nebraska and Kansas. Initially, cellular mode should give way to one or more Boeing segments with time. Long hydrographs amid modest buoyancy, favor splitting supercells early with attendant threats of large to very large hail. Thereafter, an upscale growth will contribute to a transition of more severe wind risk. A weak frontal zone will result in a corridor more favorable to the southeast progression, with convective line expected to track from the Nebraska Panhandle southeastward into central Nebraska and a central northeastern Kansas. Given the strength of the flow aloft, the development of a well-organized convective line and a robust rear inflow jet is possible. As a result, some significant gusts, i.e. greater than 74 miles per hour, are possible. So that's the situation we have right here for the worst of the severe weather right here. So let's go ahead and go take a look at the DuPage models right here. This is the HER, and this is hour by hour. This is the lines. As you can see, those supercells start to develop, and then it turns into more Boeing segments, especially in this area right here, and it becomes less neat and more of an organized mess of Boeing segments and all that. And this is what eventually it evolves to by 8 o'clock at night. So, yeah, they'll move through Nebraska and Kansas into Missouri, into the St. Louis area eventually. Overnight, in the early morning. So this is the situation we have right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Cape, actually, because I want to see what this looks like right here. The Cape isn't that impressive, but it's enough to produce some very large hail and damaging winds. The Cape is really good in Missouri, but it's not as impressive in parts of the plains right here. But it's still enough to generate that good amount of those good conditions right there. So that's essentially the situation we have right here just for now. I want to actually take a look at one last thing. I want to look at the dew point temperatures, and they could be better actually. And as time goes on, those storms are going to move into the better environments right here. We're looking at mid-50s, lower 50s dew points right here, which that's okay, but it's not nearly what you would need for really big severe weather, like really big tornadoes and stuff. So that's why they're only going with the 5%. The dew points in parts of Kansas and Nebraska right here are in the lower to mid-60s. That's better right there, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. Dew point, as the time goes on, it really kind of stays there in Nebraska and Kansas. So it's an interesting setup for sure right here. Let's look at the temperatures. Yeah, we're looking at 60s and 70s, so humidities are going to be probably in the lower to mid 70s percentile range right there, so that's an interesting development we need to keep an eye on. Parts of Kansas, though, we're looking at lower 80s, and we're potentially going to be looking at potentially around 75% humidity over there, so we'll have to pay attention to that as time goes on. But with that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are closing in on 700 subscribers, so be sure to hit that sub button and turn on those notifications for more videos like these. I will continue to monitor the situation as it progresses, but until that time, have a wonderful day. Stay safe.